Ai, me noho tātou. Please be seated. Ko te tangi a te pipi wharauroa, kui, whiti whiti ora. Whiti ki ronga, whiti ki raro, whiti ki te whaia o ki te ao marama ti hei mauri ora. Tēnā koutou katoa. I tēnei waka huri o ku whakaro, ngā whakaro o tēnei taha a te iwi, me tātou hoki, ki o tātou tini o haitua, ki a rātou kua wihi atu rai i tua te ārai. Nō reira ki a rātou, me mohi o koutou, aha ko kua wihi atu koutou, ka u, ka mau tonu mātou, ngā whakaro aroha i tā mātou, i te pū o te hinengaro me te ngākau. Ngāri, kia koutou, haere, noho mai rā te rangi Māria, ka huri au ki te ao tangata nei, koutou ka manuhiri tuarangi, ngā kōtuku rene ngā tahi, no tui te moana nui a kiwa, no mai, haere mai. Tēnā koutou hoki ngā whānau, ngā iwi katoa, no tika Māui, haere mai ki te Waipounamu, o ku whanaunga o te Waipounamu, haere mai hoki ki tēnei whare wānanga o Waitaha. I te motunga o tōku kōrero, ka tū ngā whakaro a Ngaitahu, me tātou hoki ki a koutou ngā tauira. It's always a privilege to stand on behalf of our people of Tuahiwi and the Runanga of Ngaitahu, to welcome everyone, and what we do always is acknowledge the dead who have passed on during the year. So we acknowledge those grievances that have passed on through the year, and when we turn to the world of living, we always give acknowledgements to our international visitors. So all of you who have come here to support your families, welcome, and we welcome you on behalf of our mountains, who we see as ancestors, and the call of the rivers. And to the New Zealanders and all of us here from the North Island, and those of you who have come to support your families from the tribe Ngaitahu and from our Canterbury Runanga and from everyone upon the stage, a warm welcome to you, and to the students beneath us, greetings, congratulations, piki te ora, piki te kaha, piki te maramatanga. Tēnā koutou. Now, I'm going to take an opportunity, because I suspect there's what's going to happen in the script is there's no recording, so we will not be singing today on the stage, and we are going to go to the next stage of the presentation.
Good afternoon. I welcome you to the University of Canterbury and invite all present to stand, remove trenchers, and join in both the Maori and English versions of the first verse of the national anthem, as in your program and displayed on the screens behind me. Please be seated. Ka tangi te titi, ka tangi te kaka, ka tangi hoki aho, ti hei Māori ora. Ro rangatirama, no mai, piki mai, haere mai ki te whare wānanga o Waitaha. No reira, tēnā koutou, kia ora, tātou katoa. It's a pleasure for me to welcome you to this University of Canterbury graduation ceremony as I look ahead to serving another year as your Chancellor. I can report that the university is in great heart. After the worst that nature threw at us in 2010, 2011, for the second year running, the university has delivered a full year of teaching and research and is graduating our students in record numbers. Work on remediation of key buildings and further development projects is proceeding apace over the summer break. We are particularly pleased that a fortnight ago, after many months of intensive engagement and preparation of our business case, UC Futures, the government announced its support for the University of Canterbury as a world-class university and its preparedness to invest in our strategic development plans. This is a time for celebration and congratulations to our graduands. It is a time to acknowledge their talents, their commitment to the goals they set themselves, and the disciplines they imposed upon themselves, in many cases years ago. This is the time to celebrate not only their hard work, but also their resilience, because a university qualification does not come easy. This is an occasion our graduands will remember for the rest of their lives. I hope they will remind themselves from time to time, not just of today's triumphs, but also of the setbacks, disappointments, and doubts they had to overcome to be here, ready to graduate today. Our great admiration goes out to those graduands who found ways to manage the challenges of our everyday environment here in Canterbury, but also the competing demands of study, family life, and a working career. We especially acknowledge those for whom university once seemed a daunting prospect, something out of reach, because of a disability, because they had tried once and failed, because they had not studied for many years, because English was not their first language, or simply because they were the first in the generations of their family down all the centuries to have both the desire and the opportunity to go to university. I was one of those, and I know that many of you are too. It is time as well to acknowledge and thank the two most important contributors to the success of our graduands, the university faculty, those lecturers, tutors and support staff who gave so freely of their knowledge and time, and those family members, whānau, friends who have supported those graduating today. They offered practical help and encouragement in times of stress and doubt. They became a critical part of your eventual success. Let us note as a nation and as a community how much we will benefit from the success of our graduands. They will contribute knowledge of the latest developments and research in their fields. They take with them the ability to think on a higher intellectual plane. And as they depart, they leave us with the electric charge of success, which is so critical to the reinvention and reinvigoration of this university. Many will become leaders in their professions. All will work in the service of humanity. Many will go beyond our shores. I know that wherever they choose to work and settle, they will use their new skills to contribute to the making of a better world. Wherever they live and work, today's graduates will become University of Canterbury alumni. They will remain family and become part of a worldwide community of scholars, well in excess of 100,000 strong, and members of a global supportive network. We look forward to maintaining contact with them and welcoming them back home from wherever they are for life. It's time now for me to say the formal words that trigger under law the highlight of our celebration. I pronounced them at a private family ceremony for a sadly deceased graduate of ours last week, and I now pronounce them to you in open forum. And as each of our graduands comes forward, let us call to mind their work, their commitment, and the determination that has led to this, their special moment. I now convene a ceremony of the University of Canterbury for the conferment of degrees and the receipt of diplomas. In the name of the University of Canterbury, I, Lionel John Wood, Chancellor, now confer degrees in this university upon those who are about to be presented. I call upon the Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Rod Carr, to introduce those who will present the graduands.
I call upon the Dean of Postgraduate Research, Professor Lucy Johnson, to present the doctoral graduands.
Sir, I have the honour to present the following graduands for the conferment of degrees. Doctors of Philosophy: Nicholas Andrew Craddock Henry in Geography. Penelope Jane Cross in Biochemistry. Lorna Depp in Ecology. Lisa Ann Graham in Chemistry. Stephanie Virginia Hickford in Physics. Donna Mariessa Priyawada Jayakody in Audiology. Tony Joseph in Plant Biology. Hanadi Hamed Katua in Biochemistry. Marcella Andrea Palomino Schelscher in Geography. Sarah Mary Pilkington in Biotechnology. Jared Kenneth Rains in Biochemistry. Laura Eleanor Ravel in Chemistry. Cecilia Marie Romo in Ecology. Anas Abdulhamid Sadeo in Medical Physics. Sharifa Zaniera Binti Said Mazuki in Management. Z Pen Wong in Speech and Language Sciences. Laura May Young in Ecology.
I now call upon the Acting Dean in the Faculty of Sciences, Professor Bryce Williamson, to present the graduands from his faculty.
Sir, I have the honour to present these graduands for the conferment of degrees and the receipt of diplomas. Master of Science with the distinction, Sarah Elise Davies. Rachel Emma Lean. Hannah Joy Moss. Master of Science with Merit, Peter Conham Bossop. Laura Margaret Burgess. Chiang Hao Tay. Master of Science with First Class Honours, Matthew David Banks. Charlotte Laura Bowe. Kimberly Faye Burton. Neil Richard Duyu. Sean Michael Edlin. Alexander Lewis Green. Robert Peter Hunter. Jacqueline Amanda Lee. Blair Joseph Mason. Kaylee Ann Mackay. Nikita Sheremetovs. Frances Grace Walls. Sky Danielle Williams. Masters of Science with Second Class Honours, Division 1, Emily Patricia Byers. Cassandra Kerry-Ann Cottle. Lauren Charlotte Foote. Ryan Charles Smith-Nicol. Megan Nicole Pierce. Master of Science, Janelle Rose May Irvin. Annette Louise Rotherham. Jason Suwandi. Master of Science with distinction and postgraduate diploma in clinical psychology, Karen Ruth Muir. Simon Joseph Pankhurst. Master of Science with First Class Honours and Postgraduate Diploma in Clinical Psychology, Katerina Madrejewska. Master of Science with Merit and Postgraduate Diploma in Clinical Psychology, Octavia Blanche Wilson. Postgraduate Diploma in Clinical Psychology, Felicity Mary Daly. Charlene Jasmine Lang. Postgraduate Diploma in Science with Merit, Sarah Jane Patricia Doody. Kelly Ann Simpson. Postgraduate Diploma in Science, Olivia Nicole Steers. Joanne Beverly Wallace. Postgraduate Diploma in Engineering Geology with Merit, Christopher Stewart White. Postgraduate Diploma in Engineering Geology, John Rufus Clark Fennick. Postgraduate Diploma in Geographic Information Science, Daniel Robert Keith. Postgraduate Diploma in Water Resource Management with Distinction, Mark Daniel Oldham. Bachelor of Science with First Class Honours and Bachelor of Commerce, Timothy Byron Lum. Bachelor of Science with First Class Honours, Sarah Elizabeth Fitzpatrick, Senior Scholar. Sarah Redlich, Senior Scholar. Christopher Osborne Byrne. Jennifer Mary Crowther. Kieran Alexander Farquhar Doolan. Adam John Hugo Freeth. Simon John Hogg. Joshua Sum-Ho Leung. Stacey Marie Malcolm. Riley Hopgood Poff. Amy Claire Richardson. James Daniel Shields. Adam Robert Hugh Stevens. Ricky Mackenzie Thompson. Ashley Claire Wallace. Bachelor of Science with Second Class Honours, Division 1, Chirunya Nimani Nanayakara. Hugh Newick Springford. Bachelor of Science and Master of Engineering Studies, James Mark Ellis Parsons. Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Arts, Stephen Francis Enright. Shannon Claire O'Brien. Patrick Didier Turner. Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Commerce, Carl Ryle Donaldson. Louisa Kate McElroy. Iris Teo. Bachelor of Science and Diploma in Japanese Language, Courtney Diana Nimmo. Bachelor of Science, Amy Afika Binti Abdurrahman. Rebecca Catherine Aby. Simon Jeffrey Adams. Sima Afzali. Scott Allen. Robert John Ambrose. William T. Asiata. Sung Eun Ao. Nazmi Aizat bin Izizan. Anna Elizabeth Bain. Jordan Christopher Barnes. David Glenn Baxter. Hannah Grace Beaumont. James Gordon Bibby. Cameron Ewan Bicken. Joshua Campbell Cater Bird. Alana Karen Bishop. Rebecca Helen Blakemore. Erin Louise Boschier. Sarah Jensina Bousfield. Kelly Lee Broers. Nicholas David Brunsden. Juliette Ann Bullock. Sage Blade James Kenneth Burke. Ryan Quinton Burns. Hayley Jacqueline Burtonshaw. Joanne Sarah Burton. Dylan Max Butcher. Nicholas Alexander Butler. Nicole Louise Calder-Steele. Jonathan Nicholas Carter. Andrew Peter Chalmers. Kwan Ho Chan. Sao Seong Marcus Chi. Hayden Edward Childs. Jeremy Cameron Clark. Matthew John Collin. Glenn Christopher Cook. Michael James Creed. Cameron Peter Delaya. Tanya Martine de Vries. Pratishtha Dakal. James Michael Dillon. Carl Gareth Dodds. Ashley Jane Donald. Sheena Irene Donnelly. Stephen John Dunford. Jacob Lindsay Allays Duval. Benjamin William Ellis. Olivia Zoe Ellis Garland. Christine Gale Emini. Joshua John Fairless. James Declan Folwell. Maya Louise Gills. Samuel Philip Gladwin. Christy Leonie Golder. Rachel Goff. Hayley Rose Gray. Mark Andrew Gribble. Blake Jeffrey Grice. Rachel Olivia Hall. Amy Jean Harding. Tegan Grace Harrison. Samuel William Haythornthwaite. Stephanie Rose Hayton. Natalie Faye Hill. Reiko Rochelle Hipple. Ho Kwan Dui. Misato Homa. Kanako Hori. Warren Derek Howie. Jia Ming Hu. Belinda Jane Hughes. Hamish David Hunt. Kyle Aaron Hurley. Nina Bronwyn Ada Hutchins. Tessa Louise Jameson. Michael McDonald Joblin. Jason Joe Jia Chung Jo. Ian James Johnson. Andrew David Colbert Johnston. Angus Graham James Johnston. Lauren Nicole Jones. Sarah Marie Julian. Desmond Olilimi Kaisami. Stuart Nathan Kent. Robert James Keogh. Hyun Zoo Kim. Damien Xiong Jian King. Alexander Harry Kitson. Christabel Priscilla Mei Jia Kong. Louise Lai Chung La. Michelle Teresa Lambert. Michael David Lang. Olivia Max Lofcotter. Jae-Min Lee. Michelle Xiang Keng Lee. Peter Thomas Lee. Lewis Michael Lester. George Charles Lidgett. Suk Kim Liu. Byron Peter Ling. Roxanne Lloyd. Ruben Bin Kwang Lo. Xiyan Lu. Sophie Frances MacDonald. James Vincent Maguire. Jenna Claire Manton. William John Matheson. Sean Andrew Charles Declan McCormick. Joshua Matthew McCulloch. Nicholas Lewis McMahon Visht. Amber Louise Melrose. Talia Elizabeth Mercer. Jordan Mitchell Miller. Najwa Binti Maud Khalid. Sindel Sisson Mandala. Jack Reese Morgan. Nicole Elizabeth Morgan. Emmeline Kimberly Moat. Callum Leith Muir. Benjamin John Munro. Bonnie Katerina Murchie. Neil Tremewan Nankival. David John Nichols. Galina Nikotina. Grace Alexandra O'Carroll. Brooke Claire O'Connor. James Peter O'Megan. Kieran John Ormandy. Michaela Sue Orm. Stephanie Joanne Osmers. Eri Otani. Christopher Jeffrey Owen. Johan Park. Nirali J. Yesh Kumar Patel. Nicola Jane Paul. Jade Anthony Penn. Matthew Lewis Perry. Caleb John Pinfold. Jonathan Sanjay Priest. Anthony Willem Prisk. Aaron Wayne Ramsey. Mitchell Brandon Reed. Ashley Katerina Rigta. Jessica Ann Nataria Royal. Stephen Wayne Rutherford. Timothy James Saunders. Regan Alexander Scully. Jonathan Barry Scott. Liam Nicholas Scott. Tristan Corey Scott. Alexander Paul Searle. Hayden David Sewell. Victoria Amy Shire. Isaac David Smart. Andrew Winston Smith. Marius Rudolph Stemmett. Sarah Marie Stratford. Emma Jane Sutton. Lucinda Emily Marlene Swatton. Lauren Nicole Thomas. Samantha Marie Thomas. Rebecca Catherine Tinger. Kum Kyung Se. Erwin Johan van Drunden. Julian Johannes van Unden. Robin Leanne Walkden. Shuran Wong. Tiranga Maria Hohepa Waratini. Robin J. Nino Watson. Christy Jane Weber. Christy Emsley Weber. Megan Ellen Weber. Chantel Renee Webster. Sarah Amy Wilson. Wing Man Wong. Wong Shui Mei Pamela. Alexander Timothy Woodham. Wei Ji. Andrew Charles Yates. Yi Lin Yo. Fan Yi Zhong. Xu Wen Zhong. Graduate Diploma in Science with the Distinction. Corinne Yvette Lucas de Soya. Natalia Lukonina. Bachelor of Speech and Language Pathology with First Class Honours, Salma Khamas Amur Al-Basaidi. Elizabeth Rose Uard. Bachelor of Speech and Language Therapy with Second Class Honours Division 1, Susanna Cleaver. Bachelor of Speech and Language Pathology with Second Class Honours Division 2, Siti Noor Izwani Binti Bahouden.
I would now call upon the Dean of the Faculty of Law, Associate Professor Chris Gallivan, to present the graduands in his faculty.
Sir, I have the honour to present these graduands for the conferment of degrees. Master of Laws with First Class Honours, John William Goddard. Master of Laws, Luatia Iosefa. Doris Dong Lee Chu. Bachelor of Laws with First Class Honours and Bachelor of Arts, Sarah Elizabeth Liza. Bachelor of Laws with Second Class Honours Division 1, Elizabeth Jane Barbonic. Bachelor of Laws and Bachelor of Arts, Sophie Lucia Beasley. Corbin Thomas Child. Nicholas James Clutterbuck. Benjamin John Maxwell Cunliffe. Michelle Elizabeth Green. John Alexander Gibson. Jinyao Janelle Jaja Liu. Rosemary Margaret Mean. Cameron Keith Mills. Stuart John Mills. Whitney Jane Moore. Andrew James Palliser. Benjamin Joseph Richards. William Sefton Taffs.
Well, this afternoon's musical interlude will be from the Erskine Singers. This group was formed in 2008, originally as a singing group based in the Maths and Computer Science building, the Erskine Building. The group has grown in size over the last couple of years to include staff from all over campus and a number of students. They're directed by Professor Jan Evans-Freeman, who used to direct the University Choir in Manchester prior to joining the University of Canterbury. During their performances, the choir sing a mixture of well-known songs and other material from around the world, the only criterion being that all songs chosen are in at least 4-part harmony. Today they'll be accompanied by George Buchanan, a UC undergraduate who is studying towards a Bachelor of Music degree, but also a Bachelor of Engineering in Mechatronics and a BSc in Astrophysics. This afternoon's performance will comprise 2 pieces. The first is The Sound of Silence, written and recorded by the American folk music duo Simon and Garfunkel in 1964. The song has been used in a number of major films and has crossed boundaries from folk to jazz and has been recorded by artists worldwide in at least 7 different languages. Indeed, Paul Simon himself still performs this song live in his performances. And the arrangement today has been arranged by Mark Hayes. The second item will be You'll Never Walk Alone from the 1945 Rodgers and Hammerstein musical Carousel. The song was in fact performed twice during that musical, the second time as an inspirational song at the graduation ceremony at the end, very fitting for today. The song has since been recorded by singers and groups as diverse as Judy Garland, opera star Renee Fleming, and Pink Floyd. The 4-part version sung today has been arranged by Johnny Mann. Would you please welcome the Erskine Singers?
Touch the sun.
Bachelors of Laws and Bachelors of Commerce, Bridget Helen Hill Boyle. Cheryl Sangeeta Chetty. Amy Evelyn Jarrett. Bachelors of Laws and Bachelor of Science, Colina Marie Collins. Megan Elizabeth Gall. Andrew James McNaughton. Jamie Lucia Stanton. Bachelor of Laws, Sean James Bird. Graham Scott Carmody. Lana Marie Christensen. Michael Andrew Gibbs. Megan Jane Gregson. Tammy Hendry. Christopher Mark Jury. Richard Henry Kahn. Brett Peter Kilbride. Joanna Jen Ing Ling. Megan Barbara Elizabeth Lynch. Rosetta Maureen Matheson. Megan Nairi Leslie Mackay. Chloe Ann Milne. Jonathan Marshall Rillstone. Katie Louise Stills. Rebecca Jane Summerall. Creon Upton. Hema Vara. Matthew Owen Williams. Yi Li Wong.
I now call upon the Dean of the Faculty of Commerce, Dr. James, to present the graduands in his faculty.
Sir, I have the honour to present the graduands for the conferment of degrees and receipt of diplomas. Master of Commerce with First Class Honours, Bradley Neil Robertson. Master of Business Administration with distinction, Jonathan William Gavin Allen. Reuben Joseph O'Callaghan. Aaron John Smith. Masters of Business Administration, Elizabeth Joan Hurst. Catherine Mary Jones. Jennifer Ann Jordan. Jacqueline Lee Moore. Kerry Michael Russell. Joanne Patricia Tozer. Renee Walker. Master of Business Management with distinction, David Andrew Sharp. Master of Business Management, Li Yong Ling. Ji Ling Yu. Sujal Samuel Shukla. Alice Elizabeth Mary Smith. Voravuth Sarasi. Postgraduate Diploma in Business, Shivani Budapendra Makanawa. Bachelors of Commerce with First Class Honours, Hannah Rose Gray. Faith Jeremiah. Sarah Jane Palmer. Perella Peter. Helene Beth Stewart. Bachelor of Commerce with Second Class Honours, Division 1 and Bachelor of Science, Hiroshi Kaisai. Bachelors of Commerce with Second Class Honours, Division 1, Robert John Mercer. Haydar Tola Najib. Carolyn Stetchell. Bachelor of Commerce with Second Class Honours Division 2 and Bachelor of Science, Jungfu Zhang. Bachelors of Commerce with Second Class Honours Division 2, Hao Du. Philip Michael Joe. Kiran Prasad. Nicholas Fraser Rees. Serena C. Hugh. Bachelors of Commerce and Bachelors of Arts, Stuart John Beebham. Mitchell Alan Burns. Emi Shu Jin Chang. Bachelor of Commerce and Bachelor of Fine Arts, Chloe Margaret Veronica Yates. Bachelor of Commerce and Diploma in German Language, Amy Sri Moller. Bachelor of Commerce and Diploma in Japanese Language, Lina Zhang. Bachelors of Commerce, Roderick Ringyo Adrian. Sarah Veronica Olme Afau Solidi. Rebecca Elizabeth Aiken. Salih Abdullah Akla Kozam. Gemma Lee Allen. Asama Ibrahim Alarani. Ahmed Abdullam Alzed. Thomas Brian Paul Archibald. Michael John Armstrong. Eba Neo Ashley. Win Yen Kara O Young. Gregoria Rosaletti Avila. Christopher John Bagent. Emma Jane Barclay. Nathan Grant Barclay. David Oliver Barr. Samuel Matthew Sullivan Bateman. Jessie Anna Baxter. Elizabeth Lee Bennett. James John Bentley. Cameron Kenneth Blair. Alexander Brendan Bodger. Ella Jane Bogiers. Catherine Elizabeth Bowler. George Edward Isaac Boyd. Grace Louise Boyle. Kurt Sheldon Breen. Joshua Paul Buick. Kendall Ann Burt. Daniel Marie Butler. Sarah Ella Byers. Raphael Ray Cajols. Adam Troy Cameron. Hamish Raymond Catherwood. Carmen Chung. Min Young Chung. Robin Yokfai Chung. Yi Yi Chung. Yi Kwang Chung. Stephen Cheong. Kieran Stewart William Chisnell. Anna Marie Christophers. Elliot James Clark. Sarah Louise Clausen. Rosanna Lee Cochrane. Matthew David Cox. Jonathan William Coker. Sarah Louise Columbus. Megan Elizabeth Cook. Daniel John Cooper. Nikki Alana Joan Corrich. Letitia Karina Crampton. Juliet Claire Curtis. Simon Matthew Curtis. Martin Trera Davies. Nicholas Harvey Dorr. Rita Annabelle De Vries. Joshua William Doherty. Lefty Jane Donaldson. Dominique Alexander Douglas. Claire Kaharangi Joy Elena. Ross James Emmerich. Megan Jennifer Erickson. Gila Venus Fabic. Paul Chung Fung. Olivia Jane Flogger. Karina Fortes. Victoria Marie Foster. Christopher Keith Garnett. Daniel John Gibbs. Sarah Rose Patricia Giles. Lucita Miano Qui Panes Gilman. Kirsty Michelle Gold. Eleanor Marie Grace. Hailiang Gu. Jun Woo Ha. Sok Jun Ha. Lyndon Alexander Harper. Scott David Hasty. Rachel Ann Hay. Chow Hee. Andrew William Henderson. Christine Ann Henson. Sean Robert Heron. Amy Maria Hill. Claire Louise Hill. Jason Peter Hill. Abdullahi Muhammad Hussain. Hoi Ling Hyong. Carolyn Heather Jensen. Matthew Johnson. Anna Lee Jones. Suk Kyun Khan. Ben Ross Peter Keel. Liana Maria Keane. Michael Kelvin Kelso. Joya Ananda Kemper. Kaiser Azam Khan. Ji Hyun Kim. Ming Jung Kim. Alexander William John King. Mina Nabil Balamon Kedoros. Melissa Nicole Curtin. Kotaro Kishimoto. Azusa Kobayashi. Daria Kudrayev-Stev. David Andrew McCarty Larson. Pok Yi Lau. Yongshin Lee. William Liang. Xiao Li. Ye Li. Yangshi Li. Chang Liang. Chang Lang Liao. Gerald Wee Jia Lim. Jason Y. Chat Lim. Mi Chi Lim. Chao Lei Lin. Hao Zhang Liu. Wei Wen Liu. Jiro Jesse Lofa. Emily Bridget Lowe. Enzo Rizard Lukomsky. Paul James Lasite. Sage Haber Sabon Jaber Taya Matid. Ahmed Sabo Masood. Libby Alice McClearing. Catherine Elizabeth McDonnell. Andrew Richard McDonald. Ashley Kate McFarlane. Chloe Marie McIntosh. Jack Alexander McKenna. Andrew James Meek. Pratiksha Matrova. Courtney Marie Moffat. Daniel John Moore. Christopher Rohan Morel. Nicholas Adam Morse. Samantha Allison Morton. Bradley William Mitchison. Brandon James Ing. Daniel Andrew Nichols. Chao Chao Ina. Caleb Sean Norris. Matthew Paul O'Byrne. Ryan John O'Driscoll. James Paul Dennis O'Gorman. Kevin O. Paul Stephen O'Keefe. Luke Eldridge Krieg Oldfield. Abdulrahman Abdulkur Osman. Philip James Pavlich. Laura Nicole Pettigrew. Tamavista Pamersenboom. Mark William Preston. Win Win Chiang. Aaron James Riley. Brett Stephen Reynolds. Benjamin Rarity Jones. Luke Edwards Roberts. Jasmine Elizabeth Louise Robertson. Amanda James Robertson. Brandon Robinson Sanford. Sean David Rush. Candice Ann Ryle. Connor Joseph Ryan. Finley McIntosh Scott. Thomas Andrew Scott. Alexander Thomas Selez. Soyuki Siyama. Tessie Carolyn Shimmy. Priya Pooja Sharma. Amy Jane Shaw. Carl Bernard Shaw. Sophia Anna Shevchuk. Kirill Shivlov. Jeremy Kwai Leong Shim. Rebecca Grace Shivington. Demonte Slepsinskate. Karen Smutkokorn. Joshua Murray Sprott. Peter Hilary Stevens. Daniel Alexander Stribling. Yong Su. Jeremy Daniel Sullivan. Pajiri Supatspong. Bevan Victor Sutherland. Sylvia Jane Ellen Tarrant. Madeline Rose Tatom. Timothy Z. N. Tay. Natalie Elizabeth Thomas. Robin Jamie Thomas. Laura Thompson Bache. Tian Tian. Yang Tan. Yong Chu Tiang. Emma Catherine Trent. Jeremy Alexander Trotter. Jasmine Erica Truman. Jessica Mary Turner. Stuart Logan Tyler. Melissa Louise Tyson. Igmar von Dronglen. Blair James Vestige. Amber Rose Waddle. Liam Christopher Wagenvoort. Matthew David Wah. Samantha Genevieve Walton. Jingjing Wang. Shuting Wang. Jamie Christopher Waddell. Simon Daniel Waddell. David John Whitehead. Philippa Bronwyn Lona Wooden. Trisha Colita Wilkins. Hannah Jane Wilkinson. Jessica Amy Williamson. Meesim Wong. Katrina Margaret Wolfe. Linda May Wright. Hong Shuang Yang. Shi Lu Yao. Anthony Duncan J. Chow Yi. Dong Wing Yu Zhang. Da Pang Zhou. Graduate Diplomas in Management. Atatana Yaka Moody Sansei Lage Hassan Thinka Shanali Atatana Yaka. Min Su. Min Su.
I call upon the Assistant Vice-Chancellor of Research, Professor Steve Weaver, to read the citation for the recipient of the Research Medal.
Kia ora tatu. Professor Philip Joseph of the University of Canterbury School of Law has an international reputation in the fields of constitutional and administrative law, also known as public law. He was promoted to the rank of professor in 2001 and has produced approximately 150 publications during his academic career. Professor Joseph's most influential publication is his sole-authored text Constitutional and Administrative Law in New Zealand. The first edition was published in 1993. It took 6 years to complete. The second edition was published in 2001, and the third edition, published in 2007, runs to more than 1,300 pages. A fourth edition is being prepared. This text on constitutional and administrative law is relied upon by the legal profession and the courts in New Zealand, and is regularly cited in the courts in all common law countries, especially Australia, Canada, the UK, and the Pacific Islands. Professor Joseph has been awarded a Rutherford Visiting Scholarship at Trinity College, Cambridge, and in 2004, the higher degree of Doctor of Laws was conferred on him by the University of Canterbury. The Honourable Justice John Fogarty of the High Court of New Zealand writes of Professor Joseph, he is regarded as not only the author of the authoritative textbook, but also as the leading scholar in New Zealand on public law. The Dean of Law at the University of Otago, Professor Mark Hennigan, writes, Professor Joseph's research covers every aspect of how our country is governed in Parliament, the executive, the courts, and all other branches of the government right down to the civil service. His work analyses the really important debate about the nature of the Treaty of Waitangi and where it fits in our constitutional framework. It is the breadth and depth of this work that makes it unique. It is a massive contribution to the well-being of New Zealand's legal system. Professor Sir Geoffrey Jowl, Director of the Bingham Centre for the Rule of Law in London, states that Professor Joseph is one of the leading public law scholars in the common law world today. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting Professor Philip Joseph for the award of the 2012 Research Medal of the University of Canterbury.
I call upon the Dean of the Faculty of Law, Dr. Gallivan, to read the citation for the recipient of the Honorary Doctorate of Laws.
Kia ora tātou. Judge Neil McLean has made a significant contribution to the development of New Zealand's coronial service. Judge McLean, who graduated from the University of Canterbury with a Bachelor of Laws in 1967, was appointed the first Chief Coroner of New Zealand in 2006 under a new Coroners Act. The Act reformed New Zealand's coronial services, and Judge McLean, working with the government of the day, played a leading role in the selection and location of the country's 16 coroners. He also worked with professional and community groups to ensure the effective implementation of the newly reformed service, which was officially launched in 2007. Prior to his appointment as the Chief Coroner, Judge McLean led a distinguished career in the legal profession. He was a partner in 3 Christchurch law practices between 1972 and 1993, and in 1978 was appointed Christchurch Coroner. The office of Coroner was, at that time, a part-time position held by law practitioners, and Judge McLean held his post until he was appointed a judge of the District Court in 1993. He also served as the president of the Canterbury District Law Society in 1990. New Zealand's coronial service provides an independent coronial system to investigate the causes and circumstances of sudden, unexplained deaths, as well as deaths in special circumstances. The service also makes recommendations or comments to inform public policy, educate the public, and help reduce the chances of other deaths in similar circumstances. In his role as Chief Coroner, Judge McLean has established a high public profile frequently appearing in the media discussing the service's recommendations on such topics as youth suicide, cyberbullying, and solvent abuse. This has not only helped him inform the public on a range of life and death issues, but has also helped raise the profile of New Zealand's coronial services. Chancellor, I have the honour to present Neil McLean for the conferment of the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Just while I gather my bits and pieces, you might like to just wriggle in your seats and relax. I want to talk for a moment about the background that brought me here today. I'm nearing the end of a career that started with my education in Christchurch at various primary schools, ending with Heaton Intermediate through Christchurch Boys High and at this university, albeit at the central city site. I practiced law here for 26 years, then left for the North Island, firstly as a judge, latterly as Chief Coroner. My wife here today is red and black to the eyeballs, and we've always maintained close ties with a holiday cottage in the Mackenzie country, membership of the Canterbury Club, Rangireru Old Girls, St John's, and our many friends here today. We are to some extent coming full circle, both with this event today, coupled with the redevelopment at the lake, which will see us spending much more time in Canterbury. There's something about those big Canterbury skies that gets in your blood. Amidst all the surreal chaos in the city, immediately post the earthquake, I had a strange sense of a return to familiar ground when I was based out at Burnham, where I'd spent many happy weekends as a young Territorial Force artillery officer. And I have the same sort of feeling today with my family and old friends back in the embrace of my alma mater. I'm proud and honoured to be recognised by my university, proud for myself, but also on behalf of the coroners and coronial services staff and management who've helped me build a New Zealand coronial service that has earned worldwide praise and admiration. I recall a similar pride I felt when I was invited to retake the lesson at Westminster Abbey 2 years ago on behalf of all the Commonwealth coroners. As a country, we can be thankful that the Law Commission and Parliament saw the need for a complete reassessment of the role of coroners and the need for better resourcing in their task. Ours is a noble and ancient calling to be a truly independent, transparent and fearless investigator of deaths that might be avoidable or from which lessons could be learnt. We say that we speak for the dead for the benefit of the living. We say we speak truth to power. Sometimes that truth, as with the suicide problem in our country, can be unpalatable. Sometimes discussion upon it draws criticism, particularly from some in academic circles, so there is an added sweetness to the honour this university has bestowed upon me today by acknowledging our work and providing some balance. It means a lot to me to receive this recognition. I now turn to the graduates, the most important people here today. When I was asked to give this address, my first thought was, what are the characteristics of the audience? Who are you? I think that most of you are part of that demographic cohort known to sociologists as the millennials. That is, those born between 1982 and 1999. You followed Generation X, who in turn followed the baby boomers. Many of you face a sobering reality that despite all those years of being educated, breaking into the workforce is going to be tough. Probably harder today after the global financial crisis than at many times in the past. And you may not be able to automatically waltz into a stimulating job. It calls to mind a cartoon I saw recently of a young graduate. First day at a new job, being handed a broom. Graduate. But I'm a graduate. Sorry, replied the donor of the broom. I forgot. Here, I'll show you how to use it. After about 45 years of work as a lawyer, army officer, company director, judge, coroner, husband, father, grandfather, regardless of what age cohort we are talking about, I think I can identify a number of key generalisations that are worth bearing in mind as you progress on the pathway the rest of your life. I don't know about you, but when I was at university, I found the use of mnemonics extremely useful to try and remember formula, maxims, that sort of thing. A Christchurch Press reporter the other day asked me if I could remember my graduation. I had to sadly confess that it was so long ago I couldn't, and for the life of me wouldn't have the faintest idea who the person was who spoke at my graduation or what was said. So realistically, I accept it's unlikely that you recall much of what I say today. Although, as Abraham Lincoln said at Gettysburg, humbly, these words today will swiftly be forgotten, or something like that. But in the hope that perhaps something might stick, I'm going to use my old university memory aid technique, which may just help you remember something from today. The mnemonic is PATH, path, a guide to your pathway through life. I'll go through briefly what I see as the key emotions, which I suspect in your minds today, and then using those key letters make some suggestion. So here goes. P. The predominant emotion that you and I and all the people watching here is pride. You're entitled to be proud of what you've achieved. Your families and supporters are too. But pride often goes before a fall, and it's important to maintain that sense of pride that you work on another P word, persistence. Life ain't easy. There are constant setbacks. The world does not owe you a living. You've got to stick to task and not give up easily. Don't just give up because it's too hard or boring or beneath you in your view. Next, A. The emotion, anxiety. Naturally, you will be anxious about what lies ahead. Will I ever pay off my student loan? Will I ever get a decent job? If so, what sort of job? That's all perfectly understandable. And if human beings weren't constantly anxious and alert to the perils in the future, we wouldn't be the species that we are today. Doris Day sang, "Will I be happy? Will I be rich?" My mother said to me, "Que sera, sera." What will be, will be. Well, that's okay up to a point. We don't know what fate has in store for us, but I suggest waiting around in case something turns up isn't enough. So what's the key to improving the odds? I suggest it's attitude. Build on the skills that you've learnt over the last few years of maintaining an open mind. Stay curious. Maintain an attitude that often a challenge is also an opportunity. Don't approach employers and others with the attitude that they owe you something or you deserve something. Put up your hand for anything on offer, even if it's outside your comfort zone. Next letter, T. T, thanks. Don't forget to thank all those who've helped you get here today. Your parents, your friends, your teachers, your lecturers, and many others. I recall two outstanding teachers who made a huge difference to me. Pem Chatterton at Waimari School and John Burrows of this university. I imagine many of you have had similar inspirational teachers and assistants. But always be alert to the fact that a simple acknowledgement of thanks goes a long way to developing interpersonal relationships and progressing your future career. The underlying technique I suggest is thoughtfulness. Try and put yourself in the other person's shoes. Remember the old maxim, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, or what goes round comes round. The last letter, H, happiness. I imagine most of you are feeling happy today, and that's rightly so. You've done well and you're entitled to be happy. However, don't forget other H words like humility and helpfulness. We had the example here in Christchurch of the huge benefit both ways of the Barmy Army and the Student Army. Those students and farmers who pitched in and helped clear up the muck not only did the whole student body and farming folk great credit, but I suspect that the feedback from them personally was a feeling of being worthwhile, of really achieving something. New Zealand wouldn't be where it is today without volunteers, without people helping each other. It's perhaps what makes us different from some other harder-nosed communities. Interestingly, the latest Scientific American notes that altruism, far from being at odds with Darwinian survival of the fittest concepts, may in fact be an integral part of it. So, just a few thoughts. I am sure that you're all aware, but I think it needs repeating. Your academic success is not the finishing line, it's a new start line. Life is a continuing learning experience. You will find that much of what you've actually learnt to date becomes irrelevant or obsolete within a very short period of time. But what does not become obsolete is the techniques that I've spoken about and the skills that hopefully you have acquired through the great learning culture of this great university to constantly be questioning, constantly challenging, taking nothing for granted. So, from what I've said, remember of it what you will. Sure, the way ahead may appear a bit gloomy at the moment, but you have the potential and the skills now to do great things, to make our country and our world a better place, and at the same time enjoy productive, satisfying lives. But it doesn't just happen. You have to work with it, with the path, persistence, attitude, thanks and happiness to maintain that pride, overcome those anxieties, be thoughtful of and help others. The path lies before you. I wish you all well on the journey. Thank you.
Your Honour, Judge McLean, thank you very much for your address to us this afternoon. To hear from one of our own graduates who has contributed so much is to remind us of the path that lies ahead. Thank you. As we bring proceedings towards a close, it is important to remember the enormous disruption that you all faced in the last 2 years of study. In His Honour's words, persistence is indeed essential, and you have proven yourselves to have it in large quantities. These were not easy times for you, and we congratulate you on your achievements in a very special way. I would also like to publicly acknowledge the enormous resilience of our staff, who during the past 2 years have faced disruption in their teaching and research environment, who have themselves faced the uncertainties at work and at home, and who have continued to make possible the outcomes we experience today. This year, the University of Canterbury will award nearly 4,400 certificates, diplomas and degrees, about the same number we awarded in 2009. And as I stand here today, I can say that our applications to enrol at this university for next year stand 20% ahead of where they stood this time last year. This institution has every right to be proud, but we are reminded that pride sometimes is not a great virtue. So being careful to acknowledge our past as we enter our 140th year as an institution of higher learning. It remains for me to welcome you to the ranks of our alumni, of which over 100,000 are alive today. Welcome as graduates of the University of Canterbury. Now I would ask you to stand. We are to sing Gaude Amus, the words of which will appear on the screen behind me. If I would ask that you remain standing when we have finished singing as the stage party leads the graduates from the hall.